Production begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, and welcome to United Way Update. I'm Vicki Mealy, Outreach and Communications Manager for United Way of the Lower Eastern Shore. Our guest today is Rick Nelson, our current board president. Rick, welcome.
Glad to be here, Vicki.
Thanks, Rick. So, can you give us a little background about yourself, where you grew up, what do you do?
Well, I've been born and raised in Somerset County, lived here all my life. Married my high school sweetheart, Melody, right out of high school. We've been married 44 years. Have 2 children, 2 grandchildren. We live on my wife's grandfather's farm. We farmed that for 20 years, and then we got into the insurance business. So for the past 28 years, we've had Nelson Insurance Agency in Princess Anne.
Great. So, how did you get involved with United Way?
Melody and I have always supported United Way financially, and my wife Melody used to be on the board. So when I was asked to serve about 8 years ago to be the campaign chair of Somerset County, I was pretty well familiar with what United Way did. So once I was asked to be on the board, I was county chairman for the campaign, then the executive board, and then of course this year is being president of United Way for this year. And what kind of got me interested in United Way, got me excited about it, is because of the way it's run. It's a professionally run organization. It's efficient. We're well below the standard for nonprofits for administrative cost. And I can see the direct impact that United Way makes on the community. I've enjoyed we've got a board of directors that is not an advisory board, but it's an actual board made up of business people, civic leaders, medical personnel. It's got a wide diversity of people and from the 4 counties we represent. So that brings a lot of expertise to our organization. And the thing is, our decisions are made locally, and all of our money stays here locally. And I've seen the positive impact that United Way makes on our local community. So that's kind of kept me. I'm like most business people. I'm busy. Mm-hmm. But this is worth it, and I wouldn't be still doing this for 8 years if I did not see the impact that United Way makes on our local community, a positive impact.
Great. And that kind of leads me into my next question, which you kind of already answered. But what is United Way in your own words?
I guess my own words, Vicki, United Way is just what the name says. United Way is a way to unite the community, business leaders, employees, civic leaders, unite into one organization to make a positive impact in our community. I've seen the impact it makes on education, financial stability of the organization. So I mean, it's there's no need to reinvent the wheel. United Way is here for us. It gives a lot of resources that you can draw on. So it's just that it just unites the whole community together as one to make a positive impact on our local community.
Right, and we live united to make a difference, and make a difference is our campaign slogan this year. And our organization fights for the education, financial stability, and health of everyone in our community. And this year, we're giving back $1.4 million to the community through the programs that we support. So, can you name a few of the programs that we support in our 3 different impact areas of education, financial stability, and health? Just the big ones. Obviously, there's 72 of them, so we're not going to get through all of them today.
Well, for the health, we do, which I'm also a board member at Chesapeake Housing Mission. Mm-hmm. That organization builds wheelchair ramps for people in need. That's a void that we found in this community that we take for granted, that people, when we come in and out our door, we just take for granted how easy it is. But there's a big part of the population that elderly or have health issues that do not have easy access in or out of their house. So that's a major committee that we support. A lot of after-school programs, educational outreach to the youth. I've seen positive impacts on that because when we go into these programs, we set the guidelines for is, okay, what was the child like before they came into the program? How are they doing afterwards? Mainly that's due to grade point averages on there. Health, Seton Center in my local county is kind of close to my heart. We do a lot with their outreach with mental illness and things like that. So, out of the organizations, the programs we support, there are just like I say, there's numerous ones, food pantries that rely on us. And I think what people don't realize is the need is out there is great because a lot of these organizations that we support depend on government grants. Well, as everybody knows, the government's cutting down on a lot of that. So it's not like they were well funded before. We were kind of that bridge, that gap to get them through to the next grant or the next fiscal year.
Absolutely. And, some other programs that are really popular that people do know about, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts outreach in our education impact area, Meals on Wheels program for local seniors. We do have a large age population in this area, and a lot of those folks are on fixed incomes. We also, our education programs like Salisbury Horizons, helping kids kindergarten all the way through graduating from high school. And so we have our hands in a lot of different programs, and every single year these programs, they need to reapply for funding as well, because we protect the donor dollars by doing all of the research and having that committee check and make sure that all of these programs are providing measurable outcomes.
These programs show, sometimes you may think they're a small program, but they have a very positive influence in our community. Just like the Meals on Wheels, a lot of times this is the only conversation these elderly people have. So the meals is one aspect of it, but then it's the fellowship that they have with these shut-ins that's very important. The Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, a lot of these activities, if it wasn't for United Way support, they wouldn't have a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout troop because we subsidize the programs, uniforms, outings, and things of that nature. So even though that may look small to some people, it's got a very positive impact on those people that we serve.
So it's campaign season once again. Can you tell us a little bit about our goal for this year?
Well, we have an aggressive goal, $2 million. It is an aggressive goal, but then we've got a lot of need in the community. It's heartbreaking sometimes when an organization comes to us and they're applying for a certain amount of funding and we can't give it to them because we don't have the funding. So there is a lot of need for the funding. But, we have over 250 companies that have employee sponsored campaigns. We also we have individual people. We have our direct mailing. We also have special events, what we'll get to in a minute. But a lot of these are probably the biggest part of our gifts is people giving $5 or $10 a week or something out of their paycheck. That's what makes United Way unique because a lot of people can't afford to do a lump sum at one time, 100, 250 or whatever it may be. So that's what makes United Way unique in its opportunities for people to donate is we can do the payroll deduction just a little bit of a week that they won't miss that much. So they are the major ways we get our contributions. But we just don't have the payroll deductions. We have numerous ways that we get our funding.
And aside from just the rallying the donors and going to all these different campaigns and talking about United Way, aside from raising funds, we also want to raise awareness of the needs in the community. And we also want to raise awareness to those folks who may need the services and connect them with the right places to deliver those services.
That's very true because I've gotten numerous phone calls to people having a need but not knowing where to go. So that's another way United Way not only financially funds these organizations or some of the programs, we also direct people to them that need help.
Absolutely. We get calls pretty often in our office too of being able, people needing assistance and not really knowing where to go. And so we also fund a program, Maryland 211, through the Life Crisis Center. And that's an informational system as well for individuals who are seeking help. So what do you think makes the United Way campaign so successful?
Well, first, it's the generosity of the community. If it wasn't for them, none of this could happen. You can have a professional staff, you can have a great board of directors, but if you don't have the involvement of the community, the actual individual donors, it's not going anywhere. But I think United Way does a good job of expressing that to the community, to seeing where their money goes. They see the positive impacts they have in it. So I think that's part of the PR of the United Way, is we let them know where their money is going, how it's being spent, and the positive impact that it is creating.
Absolutely. And we couldn't do it without the loyal businesses that year after year allow us to come in and give their employees the opportunity to give. It's definitely on the donor side, our connections there, but also our connections with just these great organizations that are allowing us to come in and talk to their employees, because they are really what makes our community. And also the payroll deduction piece of it, it makes it super easy for individuals. Like you said, it's hard sometimes for people to be able to write a check for $100 or $200. But if you're taking a couple dollars out of every paycheck, that's something that folks don't really miss. And it really adds up to help us in the end.
What it does, it allows people to give more than they may have been able to give before with lump sum. Not too many people could probably give 100 or 200 or 500 at one time. But through the payroll deduction, it allows them to give over a 52-week period or whatever, and they can give more financial, more funding to the program, and that may put them up to one of our leadership donor levels.
Can you tell me a little bit about leadership donor levels? What does it mean to be a leadership donor with United Way?
We have several tiers of donors, 250, 500 going and on up. And I gotta look at my notes so I can cut this out. That's just not one. I skipped a page.
But I can help you with that. So to be in the leadership circle with United Way, you have to donate over $250. Between $250 and $499, that makes you in the leadership circle. It also qualifies you to become an emerging leader in our United Way. If you give over $500, that puts you into the Anchor Society. And there's lots of different tiers within the Anchor Society as well. However, we're not going to go through all those today, but over $500. And then there's incentives for individuals who give at those levels. Every single year, we hold our leadership celebration, which is just a really fun celebration where we get our donors together and celebrate their generosity. And we do a drawing for a gift card, for a $1,000 gift card, and that's courtesy of First Shore Federal. And for those who give $500 or more, there is a drawing for a $2,500 dream vacation, which is really great. We always love giving that one away because it goes to some wonderful person who wasn't expecting it. And that is given to us, donated very generously from PNC Bank.
The leadership donor level incentives are just something a little extra that we like to show our appreciation to people that give. We know they don't give to get something back. They give out of the kindness of the heart and their desire to help people in need. But it just throws a little more fun in there, and again, it's just showing our appreciation for how they support United Way.
Can you give us a recap of the timeline? How does the campaign year look for United Way?
We always start off with the staff board kickoff. And it's the staff members, the current board, and also the past board. And what that kicks off is people pledge what they plan on giving to United Way. And I think that's very important, because if we're going out in the community asking people to donate, we should be the first ones in. This year, it was a record amount. The next major event is the CEO Coordinator Breakfast, which we just had, which was another record crowd. And what that does, it brings in the companies, the corporate leaders that have a campaign, just thank them for that, and just kind of make them enthusiastic for the next campaign. But it's also, we bring in new prospective CEOs from companies to try to get them to do a campaign of their own. So, and then after that, then it's when our regular site visits go, which I think United Way with the staff, they do well over 300 visits or presentations a year. There are numerous special events during the fall. You've got the Frisbee golf, Preakness tournament, and then, which everybody looks forward to, is our holiday ball in December. All of these events are sold out. Every year when we start with that, it starts to grow, but I think most of these events are maxed out now with participation, which is a great thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, our holiday ball tickets just went up on sale, and it was just a couple days ago, and we're almost sold out. So this year is going to be huge, I think, with 500 guests. So record-breaking year for our holiday ball as well. But yes, other events like the Preakness Palooza and Frisbee golf, that's a great, two great events that are put on by RPS ISG International. Their organization isn't able to do payroll deduction, so every year they put on these two great fundraisers for us and raise over $20,000 every single year.
That's what makes it great with United Way. Even if your company cannot do a payroll deduction campaign, there's other ways that they can support United Way. The sponsorship of one of these events. There's also donating time. We've got our website with Get Connected is a wonderful tool that if a company or nonprofit needs volunteers for a day, they can go on our website, post that, and then somebody can go on that and see what they need to do with volunteer. I ran into that situation actually last week. I was out to a site visit for Chesapeake Housing Mission, and the team that came in, the reason why they wanted to do it was because some of their employees just said they cannot afford a payroll deduction. And they said, well, okay, how about donate some time? So actually they were building a wheelchair ramp. These people were coming out volunteering their time to help an organization that United Way funds. Yep.
And so what are some of the benefits for organizations for getting involved with United Way?
Well, it builds team building process within the company. They are also recognized in our annual report, in our annual meeting. And I guess the best thing it does, in my opinion, is the employees feel good about themselves because they're giving back to the community. Like I said, a lot of them don't have the opportunity to give lump sums of money on there, but I think it builds morale within the company. I know a lot of companies have competitions between departments, and that's really fun. They look forward to it. And I know the school system, I can speak for Somerset County, where they've done it, is they've actually got competition between the principals. I mean, it's friendly competition, but it's all in good fun, and it's for a great cause, and it's been very successful. And people look forward to the next campaign.
Right. And also, if a company management is not able to do a employee giving campaign, there's also the opportunity for them to do sponsorships of the different events. Sponsorships are a great way to get your employees at an event, say the holiday ball. If you're sponsoring a table, you can bring some of your employees there for them to have a great time, meet other people in the community, and it's just a great networking opportunity for them.
It's one way that the community build teamwork, and like I said, I've lived on Eastern Shore all my life, and I've found that people on Eastern Shore are always the first in when there's a need. Whether it's the United Way or it's a fundraiser for somebody who's sick, people at Eastern Shore do come together, and this is just another way that they can support people in need is through the United Way.
How can people get involved if their workplace doesn't offer a campaign? Say you want to donate to United Way, but you can't through your employer.
Well, you can go on our website, so you can donate that way. And also, like I said, you can donate, if you go on our website with a Get Connected link, then you can actually volunteer. You can see what organization needs volunteers. So, and then we also have the direct mailing that goes out. So, I mean, just because your company does not offer a employee deduction, payroll deduction, I mean, there's still numerous ways you can give directly to United Way.
Sure. And you can also come to our events.
That's right. Support our events. Yes.
The cornhole tournament that we had recently is a great put on by Interstate Container. It's a great event, family friendly. A lot of our events are family friendly. So if you want to bring the kids, come out for a fun day, support United Way. We always have fun giveaways and prizes and auction items for a lot of the things that we do. So once our goal is reached, and we're going to reach it this year, where do the dollars go? What happens after that?
Well, the process is it goes to the CIC committee, Community Impact Committee. What that is once we get the applications in from the various organizations that are applying for funds, we split up in like 3 to 4 people teams. And what we do is we do site visits to these organizations. We look at the program, how effective it is, and once we get a report on that, then we meet for 2 days in the 1st of June. It's about 30-some people on the CIC committee. So what we do is we go around and whoever went to that certain organization, we give a report. Here's what they're applying funds for. Here's what the program does. Here's their goals for the program. Here's how they measure the program. So then when that's all done around, then comes the hard part. That is, okay, once we've decided, okay, we're going to give to this organization, we're going to give to a certain program, then we've got to divide out, okay, the funds that we have available, where are they going to be utilized most to make the biggest impact in our community? So that's the part that I was saying a while ago that's kind of heartbreaking when you see an organization that's got a great program, great track record, and the only thing that's stopping them from being more successful is the lack of funds. Well, we're limited to that. So then we kind of do the process, go around the room, okay, and each person will have their say on what they think that we should give to that certain organization. And then most of the time we're way over what we've got. So then we do a second round. Just, okay, let's see, we've got to more or less balance the budget. We've got, we can't spend more money we get in. So it's a nice process. It's a grueling process. You feel good about it, but then in the back of your mind, I just wish I could just, whatever they wanted, give it to them. Mm-hmm. But that is a great committee to be on, because that's the committee I think you see the greatest impact what United Way does.
Mm-hmm. And we're always looking for new volunteers to come in, fresh eyes to come and look at these programs, folks that maybe haven't been doing it for many years, because they tend to see things that, some of the veterans don't. Because
you do not have to be on the board to be on that committee.
Right.
As a matter of fact, half the board isn't, or half that committee is not on that board, probably. Mm-hmm. So, that's a great committee to be on.
Yeah, and, it's good for individuals to get that experience when they start on a committee that's, giving them the opportunity to see what it's like being on a board as well, getting involved in that whole process. And so we've had some younger folks join committees and get involved, and that's board experience for them wanting to be leaders in the community as well. We just wrapped up our Dine United OC campaign, and that was a brand new, it was an inaugural competition, finding a way to get Worcester County even more involved, because so much of Worcester County's workforce is seasonal. And so this campaign was something totally brand new, thought up by one of our brand new board members, Cole Toston, and it was so successful. We raised over $44,000 for United Way just in 3 months. Can you tell us how that campaign worked?
Well, like you said before, we were talking about getting a diversified board, getting a lot of different people on the board, and that's a prime example how that idea came from the board. And that first year, $44,000, what that was, they've got, I think it was like maybe 10 or 12 restaurants that were involved, and each one did their own thing. Sometimes they would have a special drink that the money or part of the money would go to United Way, an appetizer, something like that. They each did their own different thing, and they had competition between the restaurants, and I believe that was based on seating capacity. That was a phenomenal program that was so successful. We've got interest to do one in Salisbury and Cambridge. So it's just another example how we think outside of the box when we're looking for ways to get funds to help the people in our community. And that was something that came out of clear blue sky as an idea, and we're like, sounds good to us, but how successful is that going to be? And it was a major success. We've had a few of them in the last few years. We had one that a doctor came that had the 100 Docs campaign.
Dr. Edney.
Dr. Edney. Again, he was on our board, whatever, and just come up with that idea. And I think the first year that created $25,000 to $30,000. Again, something brand new, something other than a corporate donation or a payroll deduction. So that's how United Way is working to, we're not just sitting back waiting for payroll deductions or corporate. We're going out there doing the fundraisers and trying to find different ideas, creative ideas, because you figure the Ocean City Dine United, that was money coming from outside. That was visitors coming to the community. So we were bringing new money in.
Absolutely. And also, I should mention that our United Way was a recipient recently of some anonymous funds, and that has allowed us to hire on a part-time grants manager, and that is working out wonderfully. She has been going out and getting funds for United Way that our staff, we just did not have the time, because going through and applying for all of these grants and researching them, that takes additional time. But she has been fantastic at securing funds for our programs that are mostly grant funded, like our Imagination Library program. We also just recently hired on a planned giving officer, which we are super excited about that. She's going to be working with donors and helping them plan their estates and leave a legacy for United Way. So, in conclusion, are there any final words that you have for our audience?
I would just say that it's never too late to give. United Way is a wonderful organization to give to, and it's just a positive impact. Like I say, whether it's financial or donating your time or whatever, you'll feel good about yourself, and I think we owe it to our community to make lives better for those that are less fortunate.
Great. So thank you for being with us today, Rick.
Thank you, Vicki.
And thank you all for tuning in to United Way Update. Please remember to watch PAC 14 streaming on the web at www.pac14.org.
Would you like to see your community organization or nonprofit group featured on PAC 14? To get started, contact us at 410-677-5014 or visit our website at www.pac14.org. PAC 14 is a great way to connect with your community.